Happy Halloween, guys. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name's Renee. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. I appreciate you being here. We have a little collab going on right now that was created by Shar from Shar's Fashion Nation. And there's a few of us channels doing this. So if you want to see what we're getting into tonight, then stick around. I'll be right back. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it so very much, and I hope that you really enjoy this video because I've never done a video like this before, so we'll see how it turns out. And I may be doing mine a little bit differently than the other ladies, but hopefully it's a good one and you guys will enjoy it anyway. So Shar had this idea to post a video on Halloween, and we're a part of a chat on IG, but there's a lot of chat that goes on sometimes, and I couldn't really keep up with everything, so I don't know all the details about how this is supposed to work, but I think she wanted everybody to go to somewhere like in your area that's known to be haunted. So I wasn't going to participate in the collab, but then a couple days ago I had this idea because I kind of just typed something in on Google to check it out and kind of find out what in the area is haunted. And when I was reading it, I was like, I know all those places, like kind of really good. You know what I mean? So to read like things that maybe happened there and why they might be haunted is kind of cool. So anyways, this site is South Sound Talk that I went to, and it says, if these walls could talk, historic haunted places around Tacoma. So I've been around these places before several times and I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. Well, except for a couple of the places I haven't been around several times, but one of them, there's a park across the street from there, and I've gone there a few times to take photos, and I really love that area of where this one place that's haunted is. And then the other one, I've gone there with my son and walked around and, you know, done a lot of things. So I was like, wow, I should go take some video and share it with you guys and share the stories of it. I really find history to be very interesting about how people used to live, and stories about people that were back then, and like things that happened. Like it just, you know, makes things real and lets you know that other people have suffered too in life, and that we aren't the first generation that's going to suffer, nor the last one. And I'm kind of getting off of topic. Anyways, let's get into this. Tacoma is brimming with beautiful architecture, historic homes, and iconic landmarks. But while admiring the many impressive buildings and landscapes of our locale, some mysteries seem to fall through the cracks. Discover the paranormal history lurking behind some of South Sound's allegedly haunted places, and decide for yourself whether these places are local haunts or merely hosts to myth and legend. Like, that sounds so cool. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so the first place is Thornwood Castle. I have only been there once. Friends of mine got married there, and so I went to their wedding. Anyways, I went to these locations a couple days ago and took video clips, so I'm going to insert that in here while I'm talking about it. I could not get to Thornwood Castle because they host only private events and it's gated in, but I did take some video of the surrounding area, and I think I kind of got a little glimpse of Thornwood. And I do have a couple pictures from there from the wedding. They're not the best, but I'll insert those too so that you can kind of see what the inside looks like. It's a really beautiful place, and it sits right on the water. It's really, really lovely, lovely. And I'm sure it cost a pretty penny to have an event there. But anyways, let's get into Thornwood Castle. Stephen King fans will love spending a spooky night in one of the rooms at Thornwood Castle, the set of the spooky miniseries Rose Red. The miniseries, which was filmed in 2000, follows a fictional psychology professor and her team of psychics as they set out to collect data proving paranormal activity exists in a presumably haunted mansion. While the movie is strictly fictional, rumor has it that Thornwood Castle, located in Lakewood, has had its own encounters with the paranormal. Accounts of strange figures, footsteps, flickering lights, and other strange occurrences have all been documented, suggesting that the more than 100-year-old mansion serves up its own set of thrills. Wow. Like, I don't know what it is that interests me about this. I guess believing in there's having faith that there's more out there. You know what I mean? That this isn't it. There's a bigger picture, and we really need to focus on that instead of petty little things. I've been kind of watching this show and then reading about this. I started watching from scratch, and it's this Netflix show, and I'm on episode 4, I think, and it's really good, and wow, does it open to your eyes to a lot of things. Like, truly, truly. I can't wait to, I'm probably gonna stay up way too late when I have to work tomorrow trying to binge this whole freaking thing because it's amazing. All right, so the next place is Pacific Brewing and Malting Company. And this is like downtown Tacoma, kind of, try to explain. There's a, if you've ever seen my pictures or my vlog videos, there's a place down on the waterfront. When I went to the Glass Museum, down there, it's kind of in that area, but kind of up the hill a little bit. But the general area is there. This specific company isn't open anymore. It was switched over, but when I was reading about this, I just found it very interesting. So I took some video, like walking down the stairs and to the building that's where this is talking about. So it was really cool to read this and think about back then and kind of look at the history that's there, because those buildings have been there forever. Okay, so Pacific Brewing and Malting Company, that's a hard word for me to say tonight, Tacoma's oldest brewery, opened in 1897, only to be shut down less than 20 years later during Prohibition. In 2014, the historic brewing was resurrected in the building which was formerly downtown Tacoma's police station, located next door to Old City Hall. And hopefully I got a good clip of the City Hall, because it's like this clock tower type looking thing. It's a really cool building. It's a really cool building. The two buildings, which were joined by a jail cell, have been rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a serial killer named Jake Bird. Bird, who was arrested after murdering 2 people with an axe, was sentenced to death after confessing to more than 40 murders. During Bird's trial, he put a hex on the men who arrested and sentenced him to death. In the 2 years leading up to Bird's execution, 6 of the men that he hexed died. It is believed that Bird still haunts the building. What? Wow. This stuff just blows my mind. Like, it really does. Like, I don't know how to explain what it is about true crime and like historic stuff. Like, when I really pay attention, the stories are really cool. You know what I mean? Not like cool in a good way, but I don't know if you guys can understand what I'm saying, like what my draw is to it, or even help me figure out what it is about it. leave me a comment and let me know. All right, the next place is Western State Hospital. This is the place I was talking about, that there's a park across the street and they have some really cool buildings over there. And I like to go to the park and take pictures, and there's like a little lake back there that you walk around, and there's hiking trails and all kinds of stuff. And then behind Western State Hospital, they have a disc golf course back there. So I've been there, I think 2 times. I went there with my son and my ex-husband and my ex-husband's brother, because my ex-husband's brother had a friend that disc golfed all the time. And so he borrowed his friend's, like, he had like a case, you know, like when you're on a bowling league and you have a bag with your ball and your towel and your resin and everything like that. Well, or you go golfing, like on a golf course, you take all your clubs and stuff and you carry them around. So it's kind of like that, but with frisbees. So they have these poles, and on the poles there's like these little hanging baskets, and they have areas that you stand and you have to throw the frisbee and try to get it into the basket, which it's a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun, and I wasn't too terrible at it, but we did lose probably 3 or 4 frisbees because there's a big wooded area around there. Like, I can imagine if you went there at night, it would be super creepy, and that's just not your girl. I don't do out at night by myself in a wooded area, you know, like, no. Okay. All right, so let's get into this. And I did go over there and I took video around the building and everything. So while I'm reading this, I'll let that play so that you guys can, like, it's a cool building. It's a cool building. Western State Hospital, established in the late 1800s. Western State Hospital has been a long-standing piece of Pierce County history. The hospital, which was built on the historic site of Fort Steilacoom, was originally known as the Fort Steilacoom Asylum. When the fort was abandoned by the federal government in 1868, the territory of Washington purchased the abandoned post and began construction of the Insane Asylum of Washington Territory, which opened in 1871. In the years that followed, the number of patients being treated at the hospital increased and a larger facility was needed. Additional outbuildings were constructed to accommodate the greater need, and in the early 1900s, the hospital was renamed Western State Hospital. The hospital was revered as one of the best of its kind. In addition to the many advanced procedures provided at the hospital, Western State also offered some of its patients occupational therapy. Working at the hospital's farm in the early 1930s, the hospital erected Hill Ward, which served as housing for the more than 300 patients who worked on the farm. However, as the years went by, concerns surrounding the hospital raised some red flags. There were more patients than the staff could handle. Some of the hospital's buildings began to deteriorate due to weather and lack of regular maintenance. And up until 1952, patients who died at the hospital were buried at the hospital cemetery, their graves marked with nothing more than a number. In response to this, the decades that followed included some drastic changes at the hospital. Outdated lobotomy procedures were replaced with more modern therapies, including counseling and psychotropic drugs. Patients who died were buried with graves indicating their name, birth and death year, and a deteriorating Hill Ward was partially demolished. Hill Ward, which is located at Fort Steilacoom Park, remained partially demolished until the early 2000s. High school students and ghost hunters flocked to the ruins to explore the underground boiler room, which was rumored to be haunted. However, around 2006, Hill Ward began attracting gang activity, drug use, and other crimes. To combat the crime that was taking place at Hill Ward, more than $600,000 was donated by Pierce County and the state to completely demolish the ruins of Hill Ward and create a memorial in its place. In 2007, the ruins of Hill Ward were obliterated. While you can't explore the allegedly haunted ruins of Hill Ward anymore, park goers and hospital workers still claim to encounter haunted experiences while visiting the park or walking through the halls at Western State Hospital, or at halls at the Western State. So, like, I didn't know a lot of this stuff. You know, you hear stories when you live around here. You know what I mean? Anywhere you live, you hear stories about possible this, possible that, things that happen here, things that happen there, but you don't really know until you see it in writing. You know what I mean? And you read it, and like, this is real stuff. You know what I mean? Like, wow. Some of the stuff that people have lived through is like, it just makes you believe in that fight, you know, that desire, that you can make a difference. You can change the way things are done. And, you know, people can work together to do that. I don't know if that makes sense. This is supposed to be more spooky than anything, and I'm making it about more than that. But that's okay, you know? I'm learning while I'm reading this and watching this show. Like, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird what's going on with me, you guys. All right, the next one is Point Defiance Park. I have taken you guys there several times. I love Point Defiance Park. I've gone there for years. We've let my ex-husband and I took my son there and let him drive, because you only can go like 5 miles an hour through the whole thing. So we would let him drive there. It's a really great place to practice driving. It really is, because you can, you know, take turns and park, and there's lots of areas to do things, especially if you go when there's not like a lot of people there. You know, it's nice. My mom, when I was first learning how to drive, took me to a cemetery, because it's an easy way to drive slow and kind of just get the feel of the car, you know what I mean? But anyways, I'm going to put clips of that in here as well, which you guys have seen in some of my vlogs when I go there. I love it there. It's beautiful there. But let's read what this article says about Point Defiance Park. Those easily frightened may want to steer clear of Point Defiance Park's popular 5-mile drive around dusk. The spot, popular for walking, running, biking, picnicking, and other outdoor recreation, I don't know why I was going to say recreation, is also rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a teenage girl. In the mid-1980s, a Tacoma girl went missing. Her body was later found on the 5-mile drive by a group of joggers. In the years that followed, eerie sightings of a girl on a bike began to trickle in from joggers, bikers, and other visitors of the forested destination. Point Defiance Park boasts another allegedly haunted location, the Pagoda, which was built at the turn of the 20th century, originally served as a trolley terminal. Now a popular venue for weddings and other events, the Pagoda has been the site of many bizarre occurrences. Reports of mysterious sighing, the sound of footsteps, and other peculiar sounds and movements have all been made, and have been linked to the ghost of a 1920s widower who committed suicide in the Pagoda's then trolley restroom. You can learn more about Tacoma's haunted places by taking a guided walking tour of some of Tacoma's oldest and best haunts. Wow. Guided walking tour. I wonder if I should check that out. I might have to look into that and check it out. Although I need to find somebody who's willing to be my partner in crime doing this stuff, because your girl is not doing it by herself. I can face my fears, but I cannot face my fears alone. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I did it justice and I did well. So yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope you all had an amazing Halloween, or have an amazing Halloween, or had an amazing Halloween, depending on when this goes up, because I can't remember and I'm gonna have to ask. You know what I mean? Whenever you're watching it. I hope you all have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening. I love you all so very much. Take care. Stay safe. Go check out the playlist, because yes, there will be one linked down below in the description box. I hope you'll check them out. If you haven't joined Nene's Glam Squad, hit the subscribe button, turn up the notification bell. There is an active giveaway. You don't want to miss out on that. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It truly means a lot to me. It helps out the channel, lets YouTube know that you enjoy seeing my content. Leave a comment, say hi, let me know what you thought. And, you know, maybe I could do a vlog video doing it. But I need a partner in crime. Anyways, I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.